Who am I? Who I am. Let us examine it. How simple thing it is. We emerge from totality, from this universe, and again we'll merge into this universe. So it is so simple that we are very small part of this bigger whole, right? And we are no different than the whole. We are part of the whole. We are in the whole. And we'll merge into the whole. So we are nothing but part of this holistic value. So it is so simple. It is just like wave in the ocean. When a wave emerges from the ocean, it is very well part of the ocean and a typical manifested form of the ocean which is called wave. It might be smaller, it might be bigger, it might be very bigger, but it might be very tiny, short, small, but it is part of the whole. As soon as it settles down, it becomes the ocean. So there is no difference between the wave and ocean. Both are same thing. But an impulse in the ocean is called wave. And when this wave merges into ocean, it becomes ocean. So who we are nothing but this totality. We came from this totality, we'll merge into totality. It is so simple. There is no need to go into complications. There is no need to go into classifications, subclassifications, phylum, subphylum, class, species, order, so many things. It is so simple. That because a wave emerges from the ocean and again merges into ocean, it is part of the ocean. It came from the ocean. It will go to the ocean. So, how we try to analyze so many complicated things unnecessarily. How and why? How we analyze? When we try to analyze, we go in so many things unnecessarily. And why we analyze? Because we make it so complicated that we are, indulged in so many jugglery of words and so many this explanation, that explanation, very scholarly explanation, very literary explanation. The thing is very simple. It is so simple that a wave emerges from the ocean and merges to the ocean, in the ocean, with the ocean. So similarly, we came from this totality and we'll merge into totality. So if a drop is in the ocean, it can't identify itself as a different identity, a different entity. It has its own identity as a small drop in comparison of that ocean, but as soon as it merges into ocean, the drop becomes the ocean. So who am I? A question arises many times and explained and answered by many realized souls and big scholars and very big intellectuals in so many words, in so many forms, with so many definitions, with so many adjectives and nouns and verbs and proverbs and so many things. But the thing is very simple, very simple. It is a relation of a wave and ocean. Both are same thing. So if a question arises, who am I? We are nothing but part of this totality, and will merge into this totality. So when one feels so many complexes, strain, stresses, guilts unnecessarily, because you belong to the whole, so in other words, you own the whole. When a person came from this holistic value and it will merge into holistic value, then it means you are not different than the holistic value. So when you are the holistic value, then why to shrink your consciousness in small boundaries? Small is because any stress accumulates when you think that you are separate entity from this such a big unified field, such a big cosmos, ever expanding universe. Why one gets stresses? Because of the identification of yourself in smaller self, in very smaller self, so that you feel that you are different from this totality. So as a man shrinks its consciousness to the smallest value, then all these negativity happens, and all these negative. Why stress? Why complex? Why guilts? Why these complexes are there? Because when a person feels a separation from this totality, then all these identity crisis and all these lack of confidence and inferiority complexes and so many other stresses and complexes, they erupt. Because when duality takes place, when duality emerges, when you make yourself separate from that biggest unified value, that totality, then what happens? Now the more shrinked consciousness, the smallest self. The smallest self, the more inferiority complexes, the more complex values they start emerging in the consciousness, the more stress one feels. So many negativity takes place. But as soon as we break our boundaries, we become the ocean, we become the totality, because we are not only part of totality, everybody is totality. If the small consciousness is yogastha kurukarmani, if your consciousness is established with that totality, with that unified value, with that grandest consciousness, then you become the universe. You become the universe. Then there is no need to make yourself separate from that biggest value, because you are not in kingdom, you are kingdom. You own kingdom, right? When it is said that kingdom is within you, when it is said that yatha pindi tatha brahmande, when it is said raso vaisa, when it is said aham brahmasmi, all these things are very, 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 very similar things. All things are very same. So when a person shrinks its or his or her or its consciousness, then all the negativity happens. When you go beyond, that's why it's said in Gita, go beyond all these three values, that's Sattva, the Jagrata, Swapna, Sushupti. As per Sthapatya, go beyond all these three-dimensional values. So go beyond these three-dimensional values, which is fourth dimension, which is pure energy. That is called Turiya Avastha. So when Yogastha Guru Karmani, if you are established with that totality, you become the universe. Maya Dhyak, then it is said, Maya Dhyaksha Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharam. Then Sankalp Matre Siddhati, whatever resolution you take, whatever you think, whatever you desire, it is automatically fulfilled because you are in the totality. You are in tuned with, you are absolutely aligned with that field of all possibility where any impulse is fulfilled immediately. Huh? Any impulse is fulfilled as per the natural laws. There are natural laws where, when, and how things will be completed, nourished, supplemented, substituted. This is all natural law. Huh? There are season changes in after some time. All leaves are shed. Then in the springs, all the new leaves start coming. Fruits, all greenery, all beautiful rain, all nourishment, all greenery, all growth. So it's a natural law. Everything has its own time, its own purpose, its own value. So there is nothing negative, nothing positive. Everything is relative. It is our perception which makes it positive or negative. If we keep our perception in tune with all natural laws, aligned with natural laws, then we'll try to understand there is no good or bad. It is simply natural laws which functions in a very disciplined manner. And it is a disciplined movement we see all around. Every day, every night, every season changes. In every year, things are they keep on changing. When you sow a seed, it has a discipline. It germinates and grows, and it starts growing, becoming sapling, then tree, then fruit, and so everything has a discipline, and everything is part of this whole. There is no need to become stressed, complexed, being in guilt. No, there is no need to, because when a person is in guilt or stress or complex, because a person feels separated from that totality. So when you are totality, there is nothing left to whom or to from which you will get stress. You are the totality. So there is no stress giver, there is no stress taker, there is no one who is giving complexes, or there is no one who is getting complexed. So being in totality, it is not a spiritual phenomena. Being in totality, it is not philosophical phenomena. This is very much practical phenomena. It is very much required in day-to-day life to live very beautiful, healthy, physical, mental, and spiritual life. So that's why it is very important to understand this thing. This is very important to understand this thing. That who am I? I am the totality. I am Atma Brahma. We are the totality. There is no thing at all which is very complex or very, it should deal with so many detailed approach, so many jugglery of words, so many. It is very simple. It's so simple. It's a wave which marches into ocean. We simply take birth from this totality, we'll merge into totality. So there is nothing complicated here. It is very simple, very spontaneous, and very effortless. To just be with it. Just be with it, and that is beautiful size of being. Just be with the nature. Everything will vibrate, reverberate, will become lively with you. You will be lively with all universe. You'll become universe. So there is nothing to worry about. There is nothing to become stressed with. There is nothing to become complex with, because there is no duality. You are the totality. So as soon as one starts realizing this, then raso vaisa aham brahmasmi, huh? Yatinam brahma bhavati sarathi, ayam atma brahma. Everything happens simultaneously because everything is very same. So who am I? I am the totality. There is no difference between Brahm, God, and individual, because God creates it and everything emerges from the God and merges to the God, in the God, with the God. So that totality and individual, it is not different. It's simply difference of perception, different of sight. There is no difference at all. If we see in totality, in broader perspective, in Sakshitva, we find everything as a one. So who am I? I am the totality. So just be with totality, be in totality, and be one of the totality, and be totality itself. That is the best way to understand who am I.